All right, let's get into Oracle. Sam Gray is the user. Let me log in into this one. Okay, so this is logged into Oracle. Now, what I want to show you is where is this particular URL? Okay, this is currently in production. In fact, you can also run this right now, and I can put this URL in the comment section for you guys to try this. But first, let me show you a quick demo. Okay, so you can see that this is built on n8n cloud. Okay, it says webhook, chat, webbook, Kumar, and chat. You can see this URL over here. Let me click on this one. So the first thing it's going to ask me is to enter my credentials. Now this credentials is same as your Oracle Fusion credentials. So that's what I'm going to paste here right now. Okay. So I'm using the same Sam Gray which was logged in the previous tab, and I'm selecting this. Once I do that, you can see that there is a chatbot which opens. Okay, hi there, start a chat. We are here to help you 24 by 7. When it says, may the Oracle be with you and how can I assist you today? The first thing is, I did not create a Streamlit UI for this. n8n itself gives you a UI which you can leverage, and but it's a very simple UI. You cannot do a lot many things in this, but it can give you all the information you need. Okay. So coming back to our n8n itself, now I will be showing you the workflow, the n8n workflow itself. But before that, let me quickly run through a couple of things. So what I've done, team, basically because this instance has lot many data, right? Let me show you what the source data is all about. The source data is Oracle receivables. Okay. But not only invoice, but also receipts. Okay. That's the first thing you need to know. So this chatbot is about invoicing receipts and the receipts being applied to the invoices. That's the first thing you guys need to remember. Okay. The second thing you guys need to remember is this is, of course, because in this instance, there is so much data. So I have restricted this for better performance. I've restricted this to two things. One is the US1 business unit. Okay. And then second thing is there is a specific customer by the name of Dixon. Okay. I can show you that. Let me go and query this customer. Sorry, query this invoice. So you have managed transactions. I go to US1 business unit because that's the core business unit which I've used in my project. The reason is there is so much data. Obviously, in the instances, we need a powerful LLM and we need a powerful, better version of the servers to have these better query to be done. So that's why to keep my testing limited, I did this, but it's better than what we've done in the past. Okay, and then I use the customer as Dixon. I select this customer, click on OK, and search. So Dixon Industries is the name of the customer. US1 business unit is the business unit I've used. Okay, for my purpose. Now, let's go back to the chat and I'll ask some questions. But remember, whenever it is going to answer me, it is going to just answer me keeping US1 business unit and Dixon Industries customer in mind. It does not know anything about anything else. Okay, so let me go and ask this. Let's say, hey, what customer information do you have? Let me ask it. Okay. So one thing, guys, this is not a simple chatbot this time. This time, this chatbot has some intelligence. It goes into the system, queries the invoices, corresponding payments made to that invoices, and things like that. So let's wait for it to come back. Okay, so it says customer information available for Dixon Industries. So the customer is Dixon. There are invoices, multiple invoices with details as invoice number, and then it tells me the currency. It also tells me the date ranges and what is the status. The receipts, numerous receipts with the receipt number, amount, currency, mostly in 2012, because that has all legacy. If you look at it, also it has a lot of legacy data over here. Okay, that's what it shows me. Unapplied, all zero, and status cleared, reverse, and all that. Whatever the status of the receipt is, and then applications, details of which receipt got applied to what invoice. So that information. This data set reflects Exxon Industries accounts receivable activities in terms of issued receipts, recorded receipts, and issued invoices, recorded receipts, and payment applications. If you need specific information like particular invoice details or payment status, I can provide you as well. Okay. So Natalie, let me ask it, can you list five invoices? And like you can see, this chatbot is different looking than our usual Streamlit. This is out of the box given by n8n, so I have not used any Streamlit application. Okay. All right. So now it says here are the five invoices of Dixon Industries. Let me take one of them. I'll say, can you please give me the status, payment status? Let me ask it, payment status of invoice. Okay. So let it keep looking for it. Okay, so the payment status of the invoice is complete. This is confirmed by the invoice marked as complete, and the payment application has been applied. The payment application details show an invoice of 552, or is amount of 552 with the receipt number 463, and no outstanding invoice amount remains. If you need a detailed payment receipt information for future adjustments, let me know. So let me ask it, can you give me details of both the invoice and the receipt? Invoice, that is, and the receipt. And I'll just copy paste this one. It can take the context, but I'm just going to give you this and this one. Let's see this. Okay. So far, team, I was not able to get both these systems together. I was always able to either read the invoice or the receipt, but as you know, we cannot use joint conditions, right? So I was having a hard time do this, but this time it worked for me. Okay. So it says here are the details of the invoice. So let's go back to Oracle. Let's query this invoice. Let's go back to Oracle and we can query the invoice. Okay, so this is the invoice. As you can see, it's for Dixon. It's 542 CNY. Okay, it's 542 Dixon and CNY. Let's go to this. So as you know, these things are from all the way from different REST APIs. Invoice is maintained in one, receipt is maintained in another, receipt applications are maintained in another. I mean, I've not incorporated customer, so it won't give you a lot of customer details, but it'll give you the other three details. Let's go to transaction activities. You see payment number 463 has been applied. So payment number 463 has been applied. And then it gives me the details of the invoices, total amount, because that receipt total amount was this one. Okay. But it only applied amongst other receipts, right? Like this is the one which we queried. This invoice was the one we queried. So for 463 was also applied to this one. Okay, and there is something which it was applied. There was no invoice number for some reason. It's showing me that too. Okay, so it's basically querying all this information and it's responding back to me. Now, this whatever you're seeing right now, it's a very simple UI. Okay, but there are a lot many things happening in the background. And to understand that lot many things in the background, you have to actually look at the workflow. Okay, the n8n workflow which is working behind the scene, because in the UI it always seems so simple, like it's you're asking a question and it's giving back the response. That's all it is. But let's go to the backend here. And when I say backend in this case, I mean the workflow. So I'd been trying multiple. So I use this called Oracle Receivables in Natural Language. This is the workflow which I built. So if you look at it, this is my workflow. Okay. So there is a query, and there is all these invoices, the receipt applications. I'm doing the normalization process. Then I call the AI agent, which is connected to one chatbot called OpenAI's chatbot. Okay, chat model, sorry. And then we have the memory. I'm storing a simple memory here that I've not used any tools in this case, but I do send an email and I return to the chat. And I'll show you all that. Okay. So you've seen this workflow. Now let me try to run the similar queries, whatever we were doing here, right? Let's try to do the same thing here. I'll say let's do that same thing here. Let's come back and say, but remember one thing, when I execute something, just keep looking at the flow, whatever happens here. Okay, just keep watching here. So what I'm going to do here is press this. Hey, what customer information do you have? Now see, it's running. It ran this, whatever in green you see, and that means that step is completed. And then this one is currently in progress. It goes through all this process. It goes through the AI agent. It uses the AI chatbot, a chat model, and then it is doing a send email workflow and all this. And here it is responding back the details to me. The customer information I have is Dixon Industries. Very similar information what it gave me in the UI. Okay, because this is the UI. This is what will be published for the end user to see. But in the background, you have this n8n workflow which is running. And guys, it took me a long time to get this working. I know I've been complaining that n8n was not really working with Oracle. One of the reasons was that it was not, I was trying this in a trial version, and this trial version has a lot of limitations. Okay, so I went ahead and bought a licensed version for n8n to try this out amongst the other things which I'm trying. So I found that once you buy a paid version of a n8n, it definitely has a lot more functionalities, and it is definitely helpful, especially in the Oracle's use case. Also, it is really helpful, is what I observed. Okay, so you can see that it happened. Whatever it did, basically, it gave me the response back. But you see, there is an email also. So what I've done here, right? I have customized this email. So in my email, if you open my email box, after all that information is sent, it can also see whatever question I'd been asking. You see, there are so many different emails. All these emails are not only from this workflow, but is also from here. We have been asking, hey, what customer information do you have? It gave me this information. Can you list the 5 invoices? It gave me this. Can you please give me the payment status of this one? It gave me this. Okay. Can you list the invoice details of this one and this one? So there were 4 questions, and here I asked the fifth question, this one, and I got the fifth response. So everything, all those 5 things are here. If you look at, this is the first one. What customer information you have, and then it whatever it showed me on the UI, I'm also tracking that information in an email. So let's say you have a use case that customer is asking some critical question, and in the chatbot. Okay, sometimes chatbot do track information, but then let's say something really critical the customer wants to know. But in that sort of scenario, you want a customer representative of the company to be notified immediately, right? So when a customer is asking, hey, what are the I mean, how do I terminate my services with you? So that's a kind of thing where the customer service representative needs to be informed immediately, because that means the business is going to be terminated, which means loss of revenue, right? Loss of a customer. So in before they when they ask some question like that in the chatbot, immediately such a notification can go to the customer, or the customer rep, who can then try to get in touch with the customer to find out what his or her problem is and try to resolve it. Okay, so that's why we can take advantage of that using this email functionality. There are many more other functionalities. You can record this in spreadsheets also. I'll show that to you in a different workflow. We can record this information in spreadsheets. That's one thing. Let's come back here. So let's look at the second one. See, look at this. Can you list me 5 invoices? Whatever it showed me in the UI, these five, it also recorded that in my email. So these chats, they can get lost. Okay, but you want to persist that information. You want to maintain customers' queries, right? So you can maintain all that in an email or in an spreadsheet or however you want to do that. So this is the second one. Let's look at the third one. Can you give me the payment details? So it gave me the payment details, the question and the answer. Okay, and the last one, you see, there's a spelling mistake here. That's because I gave a spelling mistake here. This one. Okay, so it shows me that too, the question and the corresponding answer. Okay, and the last one, these four I asked in the bot, that is this bot, but this one I asked within the workflow itself, and that's what this is. What customer information do you have? I can show you one live also again. Okay, okay. Let's come back to the n8n thing. Let's clear this one. Okay, and say, hey, can you tell me if there are any. So before I run this, there's one thing I want to say. We can pin the data in the sense, see, every time the query runs, it runs the REST API process, it extracts the data. Again, it comes to the receipt, it extracts the data, it checks the receipt applications on that. It keeps doing that multiple times. If you want to do that real time, yes, you can just leave it alone. But let's say you know that I've already done that once. How do I cache that? There's one way we can do that is double click this and you can pin that information here. Okay. Not this, sorry. You can say discard. You can double click this. Oh, it's not executed yet. I have to execute it once. Okay. Let's say, let's clear this one and say, hey, which invoice is due ASAP? Okay, so now it's running all these. Previously, when I ran it, I didn't save it. So it's running all these one by one. It takes some time, if you can see. Runs, it's still running the receipts. Then it runs the receipt application, goes to the normalized, then the AI agent. So now everything is green here, which means there is some action which has happened. The invoice is due. It tells me the data here, and then I get an email. All that you've already seen. That is also happening here. But there's one thing. If I want to re-execute this multiple times on a given day, we can also do that. You can just go here. You can say pin this information. Okay, and then come back here. Second thing, you see it becomes purple, and then again come back here. You can pin that information back here. You can again select this, pin that information. So what it means is pinning that information avoids this to be re-executed multiple times. Okay, and sometimes if you're passing something to the agent, now believe me guys, every time some question goes to the agent and it uses the chat model from OpenAI, my OpenAI tokens are being used. Okay, so it's not free. I tried some free options here, but they were not really working. I tried to install Olama in my machine and try to call that too, but because this is hosted on Hostinger, so there is something called Hostinger. If you guys know, there's something called Hostinger. I purchased n8n through the Hostinger platform. Okay, so because Olama will be completely local to me, but n8n is running on that Hostinger. Even though it allows it, I was facing some challenges. So I went ahead and used the remote, that is your cloud version of OpenAI ChatGPT model itself. So that helped me, and that's more accurate. Okay, so that's why I had to do that. But you can also try. So this is just a query where I'm asking questions. This is the invoice. So let me quickly open this for you. Okay, so all this, as you know, we are getting. So the process of CRUD, right? CRUD operations. C is create, R is read, U is update, and D is delete. So get is basically the read operation. Okay, so you're reading from the database. You can see the Oracle credentials here, the authentication here. All that is pretty standard. Okay, and that's what is displayed here. This is the Oracle credentials. This is for reading the invoices. This is for reading the receipts. Okay, and this one is for reading the receipt applications. But again, there is a lot of conditional things which I've mentioned behind the scenes. So it's not so straightforward as you can see, because it was taking a lot of time to understand the process. Sometimes, working on coding based tools is a little more easier is what I feel, and doing these non coding based tools, but then I think it's all about getting used to it. Okay, so it took time for me to understand the mechanisms of this tool, but it's pretty good now. Then here I do the normalization, but it gives me so much data, we don't need all the data, so I had to consolidate, do some conditional mapping over here, and then send that information to the agent. And then I've also added a simple memory so that it remembers if I keep asking question again and again. So then I say, sorry, which invoice again? So when I ask this for the second time, it should remember, right? It's talking, my question was about this, so let it answer that again. So it's showing me the same information again just because I have the memory over here. Okay, memory is assigned here. And then clear to chat, return to chat is at the end of the day, I want the data to be displayed here as well as data to be displayed here. Okay, so that's what I have done. Okay, so this seems like the output seems like, when you chat with the agent, it looks like so simple, right? But building this workflow took some time for me, and I'm thinking that as I build more and more and more workflows, it would definitely improve. But again, there is always a dependency that good you need to have good knowledge about the REST APIs. So you guys always know that I'm not a technical expert, but I know what are the REST APIs available. So I try to get whatever REST APIs I can to understand what it can do. And most of my areas are restricted to finance, but in 2026, my plan is to expand it to other modules also. Okay. So this is one thing. Now, since I'm here, let me also show you something similar. So let me go to this accounting hub workflow. Now, this is not as efficient as the other one. Okay. This is just going to answer questions in the accounting hub module. Okay, nothing fancy. It's like a RAG system or a question answer system, very specific to accounting hub. Okay, so can you tell me the use of mapping sets? First, let me ask a question generically. Hey, do you know what is MTOBWY? I don't think it will say that. Let's see. Now, for this also, we can have a UI creation, but I have not done this for this. I've only done this for the receivable. So I'm directly chatting in this interface. See here, I use Open Router instead of the OpenAI. I used Open Router here, and I think inside that Open Router, I use Gemini. We'll see that. So see, it's basically when I asked it that question, it's basically giving me some junk data, but it's talking more about accounting hub, subledger accounting. Now, because this is so random, let's go back here. Let's see that email. Okay, so this is the information in the email. So if you can see in the email, it's very clear. It is very similar to markdown format. Okay, that's what I've used in this. So although it's reading this, it's assuming that it's a source code. It's basically hallucinating. It's assuming that MTO is manufacturing transfer order and BWY is BYR. It's basically hallucinating because I did not give it specific information about this. But this tool will answer questions about your accounting hub. So let's go back here. Okay, this chat we don't need anymore, so I'll just close this chat. And you guys, I've already seen this one, so I don't want to show this too. Let's come back here. Let's go here. Let's delete all those emails. So you can see so many different emails. I'm just going to delete all of them to avoid more spam. Okay, so come back here and clear this. I'll say, hey, what is the use of mapping sets in Oracle Fusion? Now because this is related to accounting hub, it should answer something. Let's see. So again, I made a mistake here. It should be what is, but let's see if it understands and it gives us the information. So previously, guys, if you remember in my playlist, right? While this comes, let me quickly show you this. In my playlist, which is May the Oracle Think with You, I had shown you some glimpses about n8n. Like it was very less. I think this was one. That's a 3-minute video. How I just queried one single REST API, and there was one more, I believe, even this one. Not much here, 5 minutes of video, but then those were the starting points, my trial and errors, which I wanted to share with you guys. But this time, I think I went much ahead, much farther, and I was able to achieve a lot. Okay, so now it says this, but let's go back. This is not clear. Let's read it from the email. Purpose of the mapping sets. It's giving me all the details. Mapping sets are a bridge between incoming source transactions and all that. We know all that, right? So that's completely based on information coming from Oracle Accounting Hub. Now, in this, you see that there is a question, there is an agent, there is a router model, and there is also a thinking tool, there's a memory, send email. But there is also this called append row to sheet. So, in addition to sending an email, I'm also tracking this in an Excel sheet. So, basically, it's a Google sheet. If you scroll down, you'll see all this information. Now, again, there is some formatting issue in this, but purpose of the mapping sets. This is the last answer. Now, because I'm trying to print something in the HTML markdown format, right? It's basically giving me like this, but the email is more clear if you can see. So for this, I need to do some additional formatting, which I haven't done because my idea was not to look at the display as such. My idea was to see if the workflow is really sending their data. Okay, that was the idea behind doing this. Okay, so I hope you like today's video, team. I would encourage you guys to go ahead and try this out on your own too. Okay, and see what the other use cases you can develop. And if there is a idea you have, or you want me to try something, just put it in the video, comment in the section. I think we can try much more. And then this tool, right? This is a low code, no code tool, but there are, so if I click on plus here, I'll show you there is a code based tool also. So you can actually write Java, JavaScript, Python, C++ code also. All that you can write here and incorporate. So you can do multiple things using this tool. Okay. So I plan to use this more as a combination of coding plus non-coding, or low coding tool. That will be my use case. So if you have something interesting to share, comment in the video so that we can try it out together. Any comments, any suggestions, let me know. Okay. And also, I would like you guys to go over this playlist. There are plenty of things. Now, one thing I want to talk about is, in the beginning last year when I was doing these RAG videos, the concepts were really good that time. I did a lot of things to understand the RAG concepts. Now RAG has become very simple. You can actually go to Google Gemini, that does your RAG for you. Even regular ChatGPT does your RAG, but the concept remains the same. So if you want to understand the concepts about the basic foundations of a lot of AI machine learning based concepts, you can understand this. But again, one difference is everything in my channel is going to be related to Oracle and Oracle Fusion, along with augmenting it with Oracle AI. Oh, sorry, not AI, Oracle AI, just AI. Okay. So understand that both of them are going to be blended together in my playlist. Okay. So that's one thing. And if you want to look at the regular ERP modules, there are plenty of ERP modules. You go to playlist, you have subledger accounting, you have a little bit of supply chain. I plan to expand this next year. And you have your customer videos. Now there it also has things like collections. So although it says customer management, when you click on this, right, it is across the board. There is a CX module somewhere here, credit management module is here. Anything around surrounding customers, it's over here. We also have collections here. Okay. A lot of FAQs around customers. So you can try to use this. Okay, this is that playlist. And then what else we have is FAQs. Again, a lot of questions. Again, team, something which I'm not able to consolidate in a playlist or something. I just put that in the FAQ. Very interesting. Do not miss this. A lot of questions you might have. This is entire RMCS. This is projects module. This is the current AI based module. This is channel revenue management on the customer side. This is credit card. So a lot of playlists you have. I would encourage you guys to try it out, learn it out. We don't have a lot many days till the end of December. So I would say start learning, start practicing, and do a lot of hands on. And by the end of December, keep your 2026 plan in mind. Don't wait till the last day to make a resolution. I would say just plan what you want to do next year, which playlist you want to learn, what hands on you want to do. And this is also a playlist on Oracle AI Agent, but this is the out of box one. I did this till 3 months back. I've not tried to explore the latest features. I couldn't get much time, and I know there are some challenges and limitations in this. So this is also something I plan to renew or extend in the next year. Okay. All right, team. I hope you like this video. You enjoyed this session today. I hope you enjoyed watching this flow. Let's connect soon in the next video. I hope you have some fun. All the best. Talk to you soon. Bye.